Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Attorney John Deaton reveals in a new Twitter thread Joe Lubin's direct line to Clayton. Joe Lubin, of course, is a co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Consensus, which is a platform that seeks to have all sorts of technological adoption occur utilizing the Ethereum blockchain. And you know what I find, and I'm going to highlight some specifics in this, and it really grinds my gears, folks. I'm tired of all these people that have been in crypto and they're propped up as, like, you know, saviors of the world of crypto. Like they're the freedom fighters in crypto, fighting for all of us, when they're really not. There's so many people that honestly, they're really not fighting for everybody. They're fighting for Bitcoin, and some of them are just fighting for Bitcoin and Ethereum because reasons. And it's ridiculous. I'm even going to highlight. There's a video clip that's been certainly caught the attention of a lot of people within the XRP community on Twitter. And Jack Mallers is speaking to somebody who's interviewing him, and he's basically, like, his position, it must be, and I'm going to share with you the specifics when we get to that point in the video, but it seems to me like he'd be happy to have the SEC come in and just crush everything, so long as Bitcoin gets to thrive. And here he is. He's operating a business called Strike, which is directly competing with Ripple, and he's years behind what Ripple is doing in terms of adoption, and the technology actually isn't even quite there yet, because his vision requires a Lightning Network to actually function, and it's just not there. Maybe it will be in the future. Cool, if so, that'd be great. But basically, he's doing the same thing now and running tech demos that Ripple was running like 7 years ago. So he's way behind. And Lightning Network is not sufficiently liquid, because understand, liquidity of Bitcoin is not the same as liquidity on the Lightning Network. So there's a lot to unpack here. But basically, as I was going through all this, I was getting frustrated just looking at this stuff and seeing how people are just acting just like little kids about all of this stuff, and the degree to which tribalism impacts this it's really gross to me. So anyway, I'm going to start by sharing with you what Attorney John Deaton had to say regarding this direct line to Clayton. And it's so funny how Joe Lubin, he did something very strategic, and it looks like it actually paid off. So I've got a short thread from John Deaton, then we'll get into the rest of the stuff. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, this starts with John Deaton retweeting a thread that he put on Twitter February 26th. And by the way, this thread, it's very long, and which is great. It's very detailed. It's fantastic. I've read through it. I read through it back then. It's one of the only threads I happen to not have run through, and I really do need to. I at some point I got to. At some point it just got away from me. Like, I wanted to, and I think I maybe just didn't have time when it was brand new. And there's other, I can't remember. There might have been other stuff going on that I needed to cover. Maybe that took precedence. I can't remember. It's a fantastic thread, and it's about how Ethereum became the only game in town. And that's a quote. The only game in town. That's a quote from John Deaton. So he retweeted that, and by the way, don't worry, you don't need to know what's in that thread in order to get the rest of this. I just thought I'd mention it. But he retweeted that, and he wrote the following. Joseph Lubin is no dummy. In fact, he was a great tactician. On May 4th, 2017, Clayton was sworn in as chairman of the SEC. Clayton was a senior partner at Sullivan & Cromwell. Within 2 months of Clayton being sworn in, Lubin hired Patrick Berarducci from Sullivan & Cromwell. Now, folks, that's a very key point right there, and you'll see just how this benefited him ultimately. It's a smart move, so credit to Joe Lubin where it's due. He hired Patrick Berarducci from Sullivan & Cromwell, which is where Jay Clayton that was working. That he was a partner at that firm, and then he went to go run the SEC. John continues. Berarducci was named Deputy GC at Consensus, co-chair of Brooklyn Project and Global FinTech co-head. Hiring a fellow partner from Sullivan & Cromwell immediately after Clayton's confirmation provided Lubin, Consensus et al. A direct line to the SEC chair. The direct line to Clayton paid off. At Hinman's deposition, we learned Hinman emailed Lubin directly. Did you catch that key part? William Hinman, Billy Boy Hinman, who gave the Ethereum free pass speech. We learned that he emailed Joe Lubin directly. John continues. The Ripple lawyers implied it was at Clayton's direction. How about that? Go figure. Hinman responded that he didn't recall. But why would Hinman reach out and email Lubin directly? Think about it. Clayton was helping his law firm and one of its major clients. You see, Lubin not only hired a lawyer from Sullivan and Cromwell and made him deputy GC, he hired Sullivan and Cromwell to represent himself, Consensus, and to help facilitate the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. After Hinman emailed Lubin, they met on December 3rd, 2017. Hinman met with Lubin at least 3 more times, including on January 8th, 2018, 6 days before the free pass speech. And of course, Hinman also met with the VC working group on March 28th, 2018, and relied on the Perkins-Coie memo. So Perkins-Coie, you may recall, that's the firm. They're seems like everybody that's anyone in crypto, like they're the one that does legal analysis for them. So Perkins-Coie, they're the folks that helped come up with the whole premise that became the Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum free pass speech. They're the ones that basically worked out the framework for it. And they also did a legal analysis for Ripple back in 2012, to determine, okay, here's how we're thinking about going to market, utilizing this new cryptocurrency, which would come to be known as XRP. Does this work? And the initial analysis was from Perkins-Coie was no. So then they reworked it, and then after taking the advice of Perkins-Coie attorneys, they rewrote that, and then Perkins-Coie was like, yes, this will work, and XRP would not be a security. Anyway, John continues. Before you read the full thread, keep in mind the following. Sullivan and Cromwell represents Consensus and the interests of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Hinman's law firm is a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Perkins-Coie is a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. The only token mentioned in the Perkins-Coie safe harbor is Ethereum. I'm so tired of this. Hinman collected $15 million from his Enterprise Ethereum Alliance law firm while at the SEC. After Hinman followed the Perkins-Coie memo, giving Ethereum a regulatory free pass, Hinman was later made a partner at Andreessen Horowitz, the very same fund that hired Perkins-Coie to write the memo lobbying the Ethereum's free pass. Consensus acquired Quorum from JP Morgan, supporting the JP Morgan coin, a direct competitor to Ripple and XRP. Sullivan and Cromwell brokered the Quorum deal 4 months before the lawsuit against Ripple and XRP. Folks, do you see how there's so many dots that can be connected here? To where, yes, of course I acknowledge that this isn't firm evidence of wrongdoing, but that's why I keep saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. This is not a conspiracy. These are just facts. And there's so many things that are so coincidental if there's actually nothing going on here. It's got to make your ears perk up a bit here, right? And then John wrote the following. 2 months before the lawsuit, One River bet $1 billion on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Clayton broke party lines to cast the deciding vote to bring the case, and he voted against fellow Republicans Hester Peirce and Elad Roisman. Clayton agreed he should recuse himself if a case involved his firm's client, but he voted to bring a case against his client's competitor. Burns my biscuits, folks. See, how? At a minimum, I'll say this. Even if there's nothing illegal that occurred, why, what business did Clayton have voting on anything having to do with bringing a legal action against Ripple, given the state of this? There are clear conflicts of interest. Of course he should have recused himself. And then John wrote, Clayton was hired by One River within weeks of leaving the SEC. Director of Enforcement Mark Berger, who helped write the complaint, immediately left, going to Hinman's Enterprise Ethereum Alliance firm, Simpson Thacher. Well, how about that? Which brings us to the next point. And it's all intertwined here, of course. Look at this tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Digital Asset Investor. There's a clip here of Senator Loomis on stage at an event. And she ended up speaking about, what basically was the topic of central bank digital currencies, but also what about the regulatory process? Like, what cryptocurrencies actually are secure? She's speaking about that. And the digital asset investor wrote the following. I think she just let the cat out of the bag on some things. This is inside baseball stuff. She obviously knows what the plan is for central bank digital currencies, etc. Keep your eyes on Senator Loomis, XRP holders. So as far as the central bank digital currency stuff, she proposed something that I hadn't heard before, and we'll see whether or not this happens. But she's saying that there may be a United States dollar central bank digital currency, but that it wouldn't be for the retail segment. Like people like you and me, would be for central banks specifically pegged, and it would help central banks move money around more efficiently. That's what she said. That's the first time I'd heard that idea posited. I don't have anything to add on that. She's literally the only person that said that. I haven't seen any arguments as to the logic. I haven't spent additional time thinking if that even makes sense, and I need more information to even come to my own conclusion on that. But what was more interesting is she said specifically on stage here that Bitcoin and Ethereum, two cryptocurrencies out of over 18,000 in existence, she said, Bitcoin and Ethereum, she said it's clear to her that those are commodities. Now, the SEC won't even say whether or not they are securities, but she says it's clear to her they are commodities. Never mind that XRP is arguably more decentralized than Ethereum, which is an important which plays into one of four prongs on the Howey test, the common enterprise prong. So that's kind of important. So why is she one of these people here? Because look, she's propped up as fighting for the people in crypto. For Bitcoin and all that. And she's not fighting for crypto, though. It really is just Bitcoin and Ethereum, apparently. Another one of these people. Nothing against her personally whatsoever, but she seems to be casting aside all of the other coins that aren't Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's over 18,000 of them. And she says, we just got to look at the Howey test to determine the rest of them. Well, what the hell? Try applying that to Ethereum. Now, I don't think that Ethereum is a security today, but you could easily make the case that it was in the past. Most certainly here. So what's with the special treatment? XRP community member Pompous Maxi responded to this and had the following to say. And this is what bad optics looks like. Two things can be true. She can be doing a lot more than others for the crypto space while going down the wrong path. No one should be exempt from criticism because they throw us a bone. Same for Warren Davidson, who of course is a congressman. I've talked about him quite a bit recently because he's said some nonsense about XRP. I'm not getting into it in this video, though. But Pompous Maxi was absolutely correct on this point. Yes, in a broad sense, in theory, what she's putting out there and the legislation that she seems to support should be good for crypto. But what's her actual position? Her actual position is Bitcoin and Ethereum good, everything else bad. That's what it looks like anyway. Well, that's not good. I hold almost 30 different cryptocurrencies, one of them being XRP, which is under attack right now. She doesn't seem to give a damn. That's why it steams my vegetables, folks. And then there was this, and now we've got, this is Jack Mallers on your screen right here. He's a founder of Strike, and I believe he is a Bitcoin maximalist, and I believe that's accurate. And he was interviewed by Natalie Brunell, who is a host of Coin Stories, which is a Bitcoin podcast. And so she shared this with her 195,000 followers, all up on the Twitters. She wrote the following. When are more institutions going to invest in Bitcoin? Why haven't we seen some of the biggest tech companies follow Michael Saylor and Elon Musk's lead? Great answer from Strike founder Jack Mallers on my latest episode. We hit a record number of first day downloads. Okay, well, good for you for the success. Not taking away from that, but what you're citing here, Natalie, and again, nothing personal against you either whatsoever. I don't know who you are. But you said great answer? Are you sure this is a great answer? Because this is like maximalism at its worst. This is a bad answer. She says it's a great answer from Strike founder Jack Mallers, which basically is trying to do, again, like I said at the outset of the video, the same thing as Ripple. They're running tech demos now that Ripple was doing 7 years ago. Now Ripple's actually utilizing XRP as a bridge currency and enterprise-grade software, so Jack Mallers a little bit behind here, but I don't mind the competition, that's fine. But he and I'm going to have to censor it here, but he said S-word coins are the worst because he doesn't want competition. Now, he does want regulatory clarity, and I'd agree in a general sense that we do want that, sure. That's the only thing I could agree with him, and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. We do want regulatory clarity. We've been screaming that forever. But he doesn't want the S-word coins, anything that's not Bitcoin. He doesn't want them out there. And in fact, he thinks that his answer basically is like, the reason that you're not seeing more people jump into the space like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk is because of the S-word coins. That's it. They're slowing down adoption, and there's too many scams, this or that. So he just wants the innovation and all that. He wants it to go away. He doesn't want markets to use dollars to vote on what deserves to have long-term viability. He doesn't want any of that. He just wants it to go away and just have Bitcoin. Holy maximalism. No thank you. And I am pro-Bitcoin. I've been holding Bitcoin since November 10th of 2017. I'm pro-Bitcoin, but I'm pro-crypto. Like, some of these people, they're just pro-crypto. Some of these people, they're just pro-Bitcoin, rather, not pro-crypto. They're pro-Bitcoin specifically, and I'm tired of that. It's garbage. Santiago Velez jumped in and shared the following. He's rather insightful. You can see he's co-founder and R&D division lead at Block Digital. First came across him at the beginning part of December 2020. He was interviewed by Raoul Pal talking about XRP on Real Vision, and he knows this stuff. This is a sharp guy. He knows this stuff when it comes to XRP being positioned as a bridge currency, what Ripple's doing, and he believes in the whole vision, long-term viability, all of that. And so he responded to this and he wrote, "Wow, I'm rarely at a loss for words, but this, ... And then somebody responded to him and wrote, "Which part, because there's a lot here." Santiago responded, "It's a beautiful thing to see. A maximalist wanting to use regulatory enforcement to inhibit competition because their asset of choice isn't being adopted fast enough. I never thought I would see it, but here we are." That's his quote, and that is correct. I listened to this clip twice in its entirety. And that's the message that's being conveyed. Shut down everything else. I'm sick of it, folks. I'm tired of this. This is not the right approach. Don't shut down innovation because you got heavy Bitcoin bags. No, the answer's no. And then the same guy responded to Santiago and wrote the following. "I think it was a real answer as to why public companies are or aren't doing a thing. I don't believe that Jack said he personally wanted regulation. Doesn't necessarily take away from your point, though. Many Bitcoin cult members also wish for SEC appointments." So I'll just pause to note. He did say that he doesn't like regulatory clarity. If he doesn't like that, then logically it follows that he would want some sort of regulation, right? Well, I mean, I do too, actually. I just want the clarity. That part's actually funny. Anyway, Santiago responded, though, and he wrote, he blames S-word coins for lack of Bitcoin adoption and insinuates the use of regulation to provide clarity.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.